So, a very good morning to all of you. So, today we are starting what we have discussed in our previous lecture. We have started with the address data control bus. Anybody remember? Anybody remember where we have stopped that day? Because you had some webinar. So, this Saturday again there is a holiday. So, I think address bus we have discussed. No one remembers in the class, huh? We'll start with address data bus and control bus in continuation with the microprocessor architecture. So address bus consists of 16-bit address lines from A15 to A8 and 87 to AD0, and it is unidirectional. The address bus is used to transfer 16-bit address of memory as well as 8-bit address of input-output ports. Input-output ports you can connect at the most 256 because it permits only 8-bit address, so 2 to the power 8. 16-bit address lines are there, so you can connect a memory of 64K byte. Data bus, the 885 has 8-bit data bus from 87 to 80. I have explained you the logic of 87, 80, I think in the previous lecture. These lines are often known as multiplex lines and time shared lines. The 87 to 80 are used to transform both address as well as data, but the address and data is not transferred simultaneously. This is very important point. But the address and data is not transferred simultaneously. So these lines are often known as time shared lines. Is it clear? Then control bus, 3 control buses are there: read, write, IO oblique, M bar. Okay, read, write, IO oblique, M bar. IO oblique M bar tells you what is to be selected: input output devices or memory. The IO oblique M bar is used to define the operation either of memory or input output ports. The read write is used during reading and writing operations respectively. So see, this is very important point. The address bus with its 16 bits can address 2 to the power 16, which I have explained you. So 64K memory locations can be initialized with the microprocessor 8085. So here we will consider all the addresses in hexadecimal. All the addresses are in hex. Okay. So it will start from 4 zeros memory location to FFFF hex. Clear? Data bus is bidirectional, address bus is unidirectional. From 16 buses only, we have divided 8-bit data bus and initial 8-bit as higher order address bus. Okay? So control bus comprises of various single lines that carry synchronization signal. So this diagram you can draw in your copy. This shows you the bus structure in 885. A question can be asked on bus as structure of 885. Explain and how address bus and data buses are time shared or how they are demultiplexed. This question can be asked in the exam. So this is the architecture. This diagram is self-explanatory. It's very easy. 885 microprocessor is used over here. These lines are going outwards. Address, always this will tell the address where, from which memory location it has to be initialized. So it is always going outwards. Clear? Which is connected to memory input output devices. Data bus comprises of D0 to D7, which is bidirectional. You can take and you can give the data. Control bus will generate all the control signals associated with memory input and output devices. These purple lines are shown. Clear? From memory, it is bidirectional. You can take and receive the data. From input device, always you will give the data to the microprocessor. So it will be acting as input to the microprocessor. Display is an output device, so always going outward these lines. So this is very important diagram, bus structure in ADD5. Then we all know ADD5 programming model. Clear, it consists of A, B, C, D, E, H, L registers, stack pointer and program counter are 16-bit register. Combination of B, C, D, E, H, L will generate 16-bit register. Clear? Now we'll start with the pin configuration of ADD5. Please draw the pin diagram in your copy. You all are having your copies. Please prepare the copies. As soon as college will start, we will see your copies. We will check what work and how much you are updated with your subject. So is it visible? The diagram is visible to all? It consists of 40 pin. And please student, write down your roll number from 1 to 10 who are present in the chat box. 1 to 10. Okay, 4 students from 1 to 10. 10 to 20. See pin number 1 to 5. X1, X2, reset out, SOD, SID. Pin number 6 to 10. From roll number 10 to 20, please write your roll numbers in chat box. So only 10 to 20, only one roll number is present. Okay. 20 to 30. 5, 28. Three students. Okay, next 30 to 40. Two students. Finish with the pin diagram. Pin number 1 to 20 on one side, 21 to 40 on other side. It's a 40 pin IC. Okay, from roll number 40 to 50. Okay, 4 students. 52 onwards, 50 onwards. Two students. Okay, so finished with the Venn diagram. So only two students, 54 and 55, I have marked present. Okay. Okay. So finished with the pin diagram. This is a pin diagram which consists of 40 pin IC. Two pins are marked to generate clock. It represents the clock frequency which is given to the microprocessor. Then reset out pin number 3 to reset the external devices connected. Pin number 4 SOD and SID serial क्या होता है? SOD and SID क्या होता है? What do you mean by SOD and SID? Please write in the chat box. Please respond fast. Yes, so these are that pins which are always used when we will be connecting input and output devices like keyboard, mouse, printer, scanner, screen. So this pins will be used. Pin number 6 to pin number 11 are all, which kind of pins are there? Pin number 6 to 11. They are, write down, whoever know. Pin number 6 to 9. Interrupt control pins. Yes, so these are interrupt generated pins. Okay, from 6 to 11. Then see, it's very easy to remember this pin diagram. It seems to be very hard, but it's very easy. You can remember it very easily. Who is waiting in the lobby? Tell Bhaskar if he wants to join it again. I will permit him. Inform Bhaskar. Please, students, don't leave the class in between because we are having your overall record when you are leaving, when you are joining. So please don't do this intentionally. If internet problem is there, then it's okay. So after that, pin number 12 to 19. Pin number 12 to 19. It is AD0 to AD7. That means address data pin 0 to pin number 7. Okay, so 8-bit address and data. Then it's ground. Pin number 20 is ground. Okay, then pin number 21 to 29. 28, we are having A8 to A15 address lines. What do you mean by A15 to A8 address lines? These are specifically used for addressing the memory. We will not use these lines, these buses for data transmission. Okay, so A15 to A8. Then we are having S0, which are known as status lines, which are used with read, write, and status and I/M bar. You will see its role also. S0. Then we are having ALE, a very important pin of microprocessor known as address latch enable. See, all the pins are very important. All are having its specific role. But whenever we want to transmit address or data, then we have to use this ALE signal, address latch enable. Its full form is address latch enable. Okay. It's address latch enable. Then WR bar is right, RD bar is low. Bar signal specifies that this pin should be low. It should be 0 when we want to activate 32 number pin. It should be low. If it is 1, that means this signal is not to be generated. We don't want to read any data. Clear? So bar means this pin will be activated when it is 0, when this line is having low voltage. Okay. Then S1 again status pin. Then we are having IO oblique M bar. It's bar. It's not mentioned over here. You can see here in pin number 34 IO oblique M bar. See, all have drawn this pin diagram. IO oblique M bar. Clear? So input output memory. If input output is connected to this line, 34 pin should be high. If memory are connected with the microprocessor, then this pin should be low. Clear? M bar means it should be low. Then ready, whether the peripheral devices connected are ready to synchronize with microprocessor or not. Reset in, if I want to reset the microprocessor IC, I will do reset in bar pin. Clock out, if I am connecting peripheral devices with the microprocessor, then that device will require some kind of frequency which can be generated by ATT5. So this is clock out pin which will generate clock and produce to the peripheral devices. HLDA, hold, acknowledgement and hold. These are used for direct memory access controllers. Hold and HLDA. Then we are having VCC pins. So pin number 20 and 40 are used for biasing or used for supply voltage. Clear? Are used for supply voltage. Pin number 20 and 40. Okay. So now we will have brief discussion of all these pins. Okay. So 8085 is implemented in 40 pin DIP. What do you mean by DIP? See, whenever ICs are fabricated or manufactured, they are having their own packages. So this package is known as DIP, the normal ICs which you are using in your digital electronics lab, in your basic electronics lab, in your microprocessor. Those ICs are known as DIP IC. Its full form is dual inline package. Okay. So we are having flat package also. We are having different packages also, but general ICs which we use are from DIP, dual inline package, which have this kind of notch at the front side to know from which side you should start pin number 1. Okay, pin number 1 कहाँ से मुझे IC read करना शुरू करना है? This notch tells you that. Clear? This notch tells you that. Okay, and from this notch, in some ICs there is a dot mark on the left side. That tells you that pin number 1 starts from there. Pin number 1. Okay, so that means by looking towards the IC, you should be able to identify which pin number is what it representing. From where we should start, pin number 1 should start, that we should know by looking towards the IC. So this is clear. Now pin wise description we will discuss. So pin number 1, 2 क्या represent करता है? Clock generator. X1, X2. A crystal determines. See, for high frequency generation, we have to use crystals. Okay, what are frequency generators? और हम कैसे generate कर सकते हैं frequency? By using oscillators. Clear? By using oscillators, you know, oscillator generates frequency at particular frequency. And there are so many frequency generator circuits like LC oscillator, RC oscillators, but all these oscillators generates very low frequencies in the range of audio till 20 kilohertz. Okay, and here we need in megahertz frequency. So we are using a crystal over here which will generate clock frequency. So a crystal determines the frequency of the clock generator which synchronizes the operation of 885. The frequency is internally divided by 2. Therefore, to operate a system at 3 megahertz, the crystal should have a frequency of 6 megahertz. Is it clear? Any doubt? Anything you want to ask? Okay, nothing. So what we are saying, the frequency is internally divided by 2. Whatever is generating at this pins is internally divided by 2. So if I need 3 megahertz frequency to run the microprocessor, then externally 6 megahertz will be generated. Then reset out pin number 3. This is an active high output signal used to reset external devices connected to microprocessor. Clear? Next, serial output data. This is an active high serial output port pin used to transfer serial 1-bit data under software control. If I want to generate a 1-bit output, I want to display that data on your computer screen, or I want to print, then I have to connect it externally. Here, serial input data. This is an active high serial input port pin used to accept serial 1-bit data under software control. This is an active high, edge and level triggered, non-maskable, highest. SID is a serial 1-bit data under software control. Okay. Next pin is trap. So from here we start with interrupt control pins. So trap kya hai? See, to generate this, we have to generate some pulses that will activate your interrupt pin. So which type of pulse is required to generate trap? It requires an active high, edge and level triggered, non-maskable, highest priority hardware interrupt. Clear? So it is the highest priority hardware interrupt. It is non-maskable interrupt. We have discussed it in architecture diagram. But we should know which kind of pulse is to be given. Square pulse will give, it is high, but edge and level triggered. Level means if I'm having a square wave, positive edge means when your pulse starts from 0 to 1, when it goes from ground level to high level. Okay, level triggered means till what time I am having constant amplitude. That means that horizontal line, level triggered. Is it clear? Anything you want to ask? See, what do you mean? This is my pulse. Okay. So if it is going from low to high, trigger pulse, some devices use negative triggering. It is like this. Okay. Multi-vibrators require negative triggering. So this is an active high. Active high is this position from ground to high level. Okay. Edge means this edge and level means this. If it is edge and level triggered, then the trap pin will be high. Clear? It is an active high pin because no bar sign is mentioned over here. Whenever bar is there, it is an active low pin. So this is an active high pin. Okay. But what happens over here? It has fixed address. So this is also known as RST 4.5. RST means restart. RST 4.5 address. This is the address. Then this, how we will find out the address of this? We will multiply this 4.5 into 8 and we will convert that into hexadecimal. Clear? So it generates 0024 hex. So from this address, your trap pin starts. Wherever the program will be stored, what is to be done when trap is high, then it will start executing from this location. When trap occurs, the microprocessor starts execution from 0024 hex automatically. Is it clear? Is it clear to all? क्लास इसे कंटिन्यू बोलना पड़ रहा है. Okay, no doubts. See students, we can take tomorrow extra class if you tell me the timings. 10 to 11 you are having, 11 to 12 I can take your class. Because this Saturday there is no class. So if you all say, then we can take the class. So confirm me. Okay, so next pins are RSC 7.5, 6.5 and 5.5. Okay. See, I have told you RST means restart. These are active high maskable hardware interrupts. RST 7.5 is edge triggered interrupt. Edge means the changing. This is my edge. So it is edge triggered interrupt. RST 6.5 and RST 5.5 are level triggered interrupts. Level we know. Whenever it is in a level, it is constant. This interrupt pins will be triggered. Okay. These are vectored interrupts that transfer the program control to specific memory location. Few are vectored and few are non-vectored. Few are maskable, few are non-maskable interrupts. So these are all maskable interrupts. Trap was non-maskable interrupt. Clear? It can be asked in the exam. What do you mean by maskable and non-maskable interrupts? So you have to mention this. Which is having highest priority hardware interrupt? You have to mention trap. You have to explain trap over there. So these are vectored interrupt. What do you mean by vectored interrupt? The interrupts which are having particular address. It is vectored in the memory location. It starts its control from some specific memory location. It transfers the program from some specific memory location. So that are vectored interrupts. Clear? Next, INTR, interrupt request. How a microprocessor will come to know if there is an interrupt. So first I have to give an interrupt request to the microprocessor to this pin. So it is an active high general purpose hardware interrupt. When INTR occurs, the microprocessor generates interrupt acknowledgement signal INTA. Clear? When INTR occurs, INTR is input or output pin. Who can tell me? In the pin diagram we have discussed this. So INTR input pin hai, output pin hai. इनपुट पिन. ओके. सो क्या होगा, इस पिन पे हम रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे He now interrupts want to be executed. So INTR occurs, the microprocessor generate interrupt acknowledgement signal INTA. Next signal is my INTA bar. This is a bar signal. INTA bar. So interrupt acknowledgement. As soon as I received an interrupt signal, this pin is high, microprocessor will come to know that there is some interrupt. That means I have to stop execution of my current program and the control is to be given to some other program. So here the microprocessor will now send interrupt acknowledgement. Okay, so it will send interrupt acknowledgement that I have received the signal. Now I am acknowledging you that I received. Now I will give my control to you. So that is my interrupt acknowledgement. Clear? Is it clear? Next pins are 87 to 80, multiplexed address oblique data bus. These pins are multiplexed to be used as address bus as well as data bus. These are signal lines which are bidirectional and they serve dual purpose. We all know they are used as lower order address bus as well as data bus. Clear? This is ground reference GNG. We all know that is VSS pin or ground. In some books VSS, in some books it's ground. Next, A8 to A15 address bus, 21 to 28 in the pin diagram. So it represents address bus 8-bit output signal lines. They are unidirectional and used for most significant bits, called higher order address bus of 16-bit address. What it means, see, if I am executing address 1, 1, 4, 4 hex is my memory address which I want to execute. Okay, so this bits means MSB bits. So 1 1 represents hexadecimal digit. It will be converted into binary. 0001 will be the binary bits for first. For second, again 0001. So all these bits will be the output signal lines will be generated and they are unidirectional. So this 1 1 bits will be present at A8 to A15 lines. And these bits are known as most significant bits. Clear? Known as most significant bits. And 4 4 hex will be the LSBs which will be transferred through AD7 to AD0 bits. Okay? So then address latch enable ALE. Very important. ALE signal is used to separate AD0 to AD7 line, that is demultiplex. When ALE signal is high, indicates that contents are addressed. That means whatever we are transmitting to the AD7 to AD0 line are only addressed when ALE is 1. Is it clear? Any doubt? Is it clear? Okay. So when ALE is 0, low indicates that the contents are data. When this is low, that means these lines are D7 to D0. When it is high, it is from A0 to A7. Okay? Next, status signals, very important. And you have to remember this table also. Status signals S0 and S1 is interacted with IO oblique M bar. These are status signals similar to IO oblique M bar. can identify various operations. So by combining all this, we will come to know which operation is to be performed. Whether we are taking the data from memory, whether we are taking the data from input-output devices. So IO oblique M bar S1 S0. 3 lines we are considering. So 3-bit data will be there. How you have to remember this? I will tell you the technique. Write down 1010 alternate, last 11. Then double one, this reverse operation over here. Then 3 zeros and 3 1. IO oblique M bar could be either 0 or 1. So when IO oblique M bar is 0, what it means? Which line is active? Input, output or memory? Who will tell? When IO oblique M bar is 0, what it means? Which type of operation is to be performed? Yes, very good. It's memory operation because it is active low pin 0. Okay, then S1, S0. If both are 1, it is opcode fetch. Opcode means the instruction which I am using to write a program. Like I want to add 2 beta bits, then I will use add B. Clear? So add is my opcode. So opcode fetch operation will take place 0, 1, 1 pay. Clear? Then 1, 0, it's memory read. Okay, I want to read the data from memory. 0, 1 is memory write. Okay, then this is 1, it means input output devices are connected and we are interacting with peripheral devices. So 110 means input output read. Read के लिए हमेशा सिग्नल देखना ये सेम है. S1 S0 10. Read के लिए S1 S0 is 10. That won't change. For reading S1 S0 is 10. Okay. 1 है, that means it is input output read. Again 0 1 is for write operation. So पहले वाला मेरा था memory write, second वाला है IO write. Okay. Then interrupt acknowledgement. If I want to generate interrupt acknowledgement, this pins should be high. All the pins should be high. Clear? Then WR. We all know write. This is write control signal. Here we are not writing because we are just mentioning it. So WR bar, RD bar. This is a write control signal active low. This signal indicates that data on the data bus are to be returned into selected memory or input output location. Here, read again active low signal. This signal indicates that the selected IO or memory device is to be read. See, we can continue the lecture for another half an hour if you are interested, so that we will complete this pin diagram. So should I continue? Because you have to again join the lecture. No response. Nobody wants to extend the class. Okay, then ready pin. If ready pin is high, then the microprocessor completes the operation and proceeds for next operation. If ready pin is low, the microprocessor enters into wait state. This signal is primarily used to see if you are having some personal WhatsApp group, put in that. We are continuing the class and confirm me. In the group. So put it, we have to discontinue the class first, then again after 10 minutes we will continue the class. Okay. So ready pin. Just within 1 minute we'll wind up, and then again we'll start after a break of 10 minutes. If ready pin is low, the microprocessor enters into wait state. This signal is primarily used to synchronize lower peripherals with the microprocessor. क्या मतलब है इसका कि कोई डिवाइस, एक्सटर्नल डिवाइस अगर स्लो है, ठीक है, दैट मीन्स बट microprocessor is ready, but the peripheral device is not ready, so it has to wait for some time. So if ready pin is low, the microprocessor enters into wait state, so to synchronize the frequency of both. So it will wait for few microseconds and then it will start continuing. This signal is primarily used to synchronize slower peripherals with the microprocessor. Clear? So we will take a break and we'll continue the class, put it in the group. Okay. So you can write a few operations if you want. You have drawn the pin diagram also. I will share the notes. 43 is present. Ronak 43. Okay, students, we will stop this class and we will continue in the class after a break of 10 minutes. So we will have 2 classes today.